Coaches, managers, GMs, and pretty much everybody else of any authority in professional sports, they do a lot of speaking without necessarily being trained to do a lot of speaking. So I'm always reminding myself and quoting them, or even just when casually listening to them, to basically, give them a break. Don't parse too much. But you can parse a little bit, right? Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. As the NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis winds down for the week, there's still nothing from the local perspective that would have topped, from a news standpoint, Omar Khan's press conference. No, it was not scintillating. No, it did not generate some massive headlines. A little bit of news. Some, Broderick Jones is going to be at left tackle. He's had conversations with both quarterbacks, really wants to get TJ Watt signed. But no, nothing that shook anybody's world inside or outside the football team's orbit. But can I share with you one phrase that came from Khan that had one of my eyebrows just skyrocketing, while repeating here that that's not necessarily fair. Just a feeling, just a thing. Here, better yet, I'll play you the audio that contains it from Khan's meeting with Pittsburgh-based reporters out there, including our own Chris Halleck of DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Obviously, it was disappointing. The way we ended, it was unacceptable. We know we have to be better, and people expect better. We expect better, and that can't happen again. And I'm just disappointed as everyone else. And I can tell you, we're working hard to fix that and make sure it doesn't happen again.
It's right there in the middle. Did it have the same effect on you? That can't happen again. What's that mean? I mean, if you think about it at its root, that can't happen again would imply first and foremost that you think there'd be a chance that it could. That was a pretty historic collapse, I would say. When you're going through the Steelers' 8+ decades of existence, you're not going to find many collapses that would equal that one. So that can't happen again. It also sounds like way too low of a bar that you shouldn't even be thinking about it. Shouldn't even cross your mind. But that wasn't it either. I was trying to figure out what it was that had me react the way I did to that line. And then it hit me. That can't happen again. ... Or what? Like, what happens if it does happen again? Because it just happened, and there have been almost no repercussions. Changed the inside linebackers coach, changed the secondary coach, didn't even fire the strength and conditioning coordinator, who just roundly got Fs from all of his players in his first year on the job. And of course, above all, didn't do anything about head coach, the one great constant in this. So what does that mean? Can't happen again. Or Art Rooney's going to be really mad? Well, I mean, I don't know if he was or wasn't. That's not an easy read with him. He's a pretty easygoing guy. But if he was, he certainly didn't act on it in any way. I have no doubt that Mike Tomlin took it really hard. He always does. One thing nobody can question about him is his competitive fire. But did he take it hard enough to say, hey, I need to look in the mirror. I need to do some different things here myself, not just admonish the players to play harder, not just admonish the coaches to coach harder. I need to change some stuff. I need to update some stuff. Might need to hit a big reset button or two. If that has either taken place or is forthcoming, it sure didn't come across in his one access point with reporters back in January. And more important, it didn't happen with any of his coaching staff, other than the two that I mentioned. So where does the phrase even come from? Where does "that can't happen again" come from? What could have possibly crossed Omar's mind to say that? I think that's a fair thing to bring up. These are the people who run this. What they say, in all likelihood, comes from something that they're thinking. And something that they're thinking, by extension, would come from things that they have reason to think. When we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents injured people in automobile accidents, workers' compensation cases, and medical malpractice claims. The attorneys at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George pride themselves in doing what they say they're going to do. It's important to them that when they make you a promise, they keep that promise. And this law firm has been keeping promises for over 80 years. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George has been AV rated. That's the highest rating a law firm can receive for legal ability and ethics. And the lawyers at the firm have been designated super lawyers, that's a real thing, for over 15 years. Rare combination there. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them at lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. Again, that's 888-842-5454. Today's J1Q comes from Quentin, who asks, DK, would you still be excited if the Steelers brought back Russell Wilson and had a great free agency class and draft around him? No. And I don't want to be that guy who just blasts Russ at every opportunity, because I actually don't feel that way, so I wouldn't want to be interpreted that way. I just saw things in those final few games that to me felt like fatal flaws at this stage of his career. He's not going to fit with this offense if he holds onto the football forever. He's not going to fit with this offense if he thinks that he can escape trouble that he can no longer escape. And he's not going to fit with any offense if he's not capable of throwing the ball. And I'm talking about with the necessary zip, with velocity. Well, not here, not anywhere in this league. I have heard all three of these things from the inside. I felt that way myself about two of those three beforehand, meaning just on my own. The zip thing was new to me. But to hear that come from the inside, from people who have voices unlike mine that actually count, that's pretty jarring. That's a tough thing to say, hey, let's just have a good summer and see if we can work it out. That's why I've been telling you all along, ever since this information came my way, that they want Justin Fields. They can't control whether or not Fields signs, but that's who they want to sign. And as long as I'm parsing Omar Khan this morning, I probably should have made a bigger deal earlier in the week about something that Omar said regarding quarterbacks. He said that he wants to get his quarterback, this is singular, signed before the start of the league year. He expressed that urgency. He kinda publicly put a deadline on himself to get that done. Now, what he can't say, and this is just kind of common sense, is, well, we'd really rather have Justin. We're going to try to get Justin signed. And if we can't, then we'll settle for Russ. But in the meantime, all we're doing is putting on this show here that we're interested in both of them. We're actually not. He can't do that. The last thing the Steelers could afford is to lose both of them and then have somebody hand them Sam Darnold's telephone number and say, here, go pay Darnold $40 million a year. Or see what kind of quarterback you can find at number 20 overall in the draft. Omar's playing this the way he has to, but make no mistake. All of this, everything that's happening right now is about Justin. It's about getting Justin done. And if you take that same scenario that you just laid out for me there, Quentin, and the Steelers do all kinds of nice things in free agency in the draft to bolster the offense, to bolster the supporting cast, let it be around the player who at least has a chance to be your quarterback for more than a single season. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers. And don't forget, we've got a double shot coming up this afternoon as well. We'll be touching base with Chris Halleck out in Indianapolis one last time and going over the Combine. That's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this program will be back